What's the smartest way you've ever tested your daughter's boyfriend? When my daughter told me she had a boyfriend, I smiled. I trusted her. Him? Not yet. His name was Daniel, and from day one he felt too polished. Flowers every visit. Yes, ma'am, in every sentence. Offered to help with dishes before he sat down. He walked into my house like he was auditioning for Best Boyfriend of the Year. And I've lived long enough to know this. Anything that looks that perfect usually comes with a crack in it. I was born in Turkey and moved here as a teenager. My English is perfect, but my Turkish is better. So when my daughter mentioned Daniel was taking a language class, I had an idea. A terrible one. The kind that ruins fake people. Next time he came over, I smiled and stopped speaking English. Only Turkish. My daughter looked at me like I'd lost my mind. I told her the plan. She said, "Mom, that is insane." I said, "Exactly. That's why it'll work." At first, Daniel was flawless, patient, respectful. I almost felt guilty. Then month 2 arrived and perfect started shedding its skin. One night my daughter stepped out and Daniel muttered, "Does she always cook like this?" I froze in the kitchen. "Oh, so we're honest now." Another day, he looked around the living room and whispered, "This house is smaller than I expected." I nearly laughed. "Sir, this house fed you for free. Relax." Then he smiled at me and said slowly, "Food is very good." Then under his breath, "Barely." I had to turn around before my face ruined the experiment. So I raised the stakes. One afternoon, my daughter was at class. Daniel showed up saying he forgot his charger. Convenient. I let him in, still speaking only Turkish. I sat in the living room pretending to watch TV while I watched him. First he wandered, then he snooped. Family photos, furniture, mail, an envelope, my desk drawer. And I thought, wow, you skipped red flags and went straight to a crime podcast. So the next week I left something out on purpose. Fake bank papers, debt, negative balances, ugly numbers. The kind of numbers that make romance develop allergies. 3 days later, my daughter came to me upset. "Mom, Daniel says he needs space." Space. That magical word people use when love suddenly gets expensive. He said he wasn't ready for something serious. I almost applauded. I told her, "Okay, let's wait." 2 weeks later, the fake papers were gone. And suddenly Daniel had done some thinking. He wanted her back. Of course you do. My daughter invited him over for dinner. Flowers, smile, yes ma'am. I served his favorite dish, the one he once called barely edible. Halfway through dinner, my daughter looked at me and said in perfect English, "Mom, can you pass the salt?" I said, "Of course, sweetheart." Silence. Daniel froze. Fork halfway to his mouth like his soul had just lost Wi-Fi. You speak English?" I smiled. "I've understood every word you've said in my house." Then my daughter placed her phone on the table and pressed play. His voice, clear as day. "Once I'm in with her family, I'm set. They've got money." He started stuttering. No, that's not what I meant." My daughter cut him off. "Then what about the part where you mocked our home?" I leaned forward. "Or my food?" He looked at us, muttered that we were crazy, grabbed his phone and walked out. Door shut. Silence. My daughter started crying. I sat beside her and said, "Better 6 months of lies than 6 years of regret." A few months later, she met someone new. A nursing student, sweet, quiet, real. He brings homemade cookies instead of performance flowers, and talks to me the same whether my daughter is there or not. And Daniel? Last I heard, he's dating a girl whose dad owns apartment buildings. So yes, my test worked perfectly. I didn't just find out who he was. I helped him find his target audience.